more people. You know how hard it is to maintain a figure like mine? All right, be quiet. Don't rush the stage. You got a lot of room. All right. I don't diet well. I've been doing intermittent feasting. It's the best. It's the best. It's like Thanksgiving every day. It's awesome. Anyone else here getting older? Doesn't it suck? Remember when you were a kid and your dad was like, strap in, life goes by fast? You remember your uncle were like, it's like a train, it's gonna go by fast. You're like, shut up, old man, I know karate. And all of a sudden you're 40, you know? In your 20s, you're like, who am I? In your 30s, you're like, where am I going? In your 40s, you're like, has anyone made coffee? Who's got coffee? Sucks, I don't like it. Now when I get out of bed, I feel like I've been in a car accident. You guys have that? I get out of bed, I feel like I've been mugged. All I did was lay there for 8 hours. I didn't do anything, I didn't lift anything, I didn't move, I just got out of bed, and now I have to take one leg out carefully or that's just gonna be a crap all day. I do that stretchy Wally thing. I roll on those weird medieval round things the doctor gives you for my back, it sucks. I get out of bed and I turn into a jazz singer. I get out of bed, I'm like, get back up! Sit down, I'm like, get back up! With me now on 4, 1, 2, 3. What a wonderful world. All right, good. You guys pay attention over there. This is funny. You guys with the passing the hash or cashews or whatever it is. All right, you guys are fine. Yes, this is awesome. Is this everybody in San Leandro right here? Is this the entire? Yeah. The rest of the comics are breaking into your homes. I hope you guys have TVs. Oh, man, my best friend just turned 50. I know some of you guys are like, oh, I wish I was 50 again. Best friend turned 50. He was like, Paco, can I have my 50th birthday party at your house? I was like, of course, I like to party. Let's do this. He said, can we get a stripper? And I was like, no. Don't they come over at like midnight? This party's wrapped up by 9:30 tops. Did you not see the Evite? I'm not getting up at midnight to answer the door. By 10, I'm in my pajamas watching Netflix, a little mint chocolate ice cream going on. I'm not getting up at midnight to answer the door for a 19-year-old girl. I couldn't even talk to a 19-year-old girl when I was 19. How am I supposed to talk to a 19-year-old girl now? They're just gonna walk in and what are we gonna do? Just give her advice? It's like, come on in, Cinnamon. Did you bring a coat? Something warm? You don't look like you dressed enough. And now, like, you know, I don't know, like a 19-year-old girl, she's gonna come in and say things like, this is bussin', this isn't mid, this is low-key, mid bussin'. I don't know what they say anymore. I have no idea what they say. Who has a dollar bill anymore? Stage right? Who has dollar bills anymore? No one. What are we gonna do? Just give her a heart candy? Here's a Werther's. It's a Bitcoin. Enjoy. And I'm turning into my dad. You guys ever go through that? Put your hands together if you turned into your parent at one point. Yeah. Right. We all made fun of our parents until we became them, right? Now when I drop something, I do the dad stance. Did you guys have a dad that did that? It's just like, drop something, just, everything starts coming up. Gotta do that wide stance to get down and pick up a pen. You know that thing? It's like, now when I drop my keys, I'm like, that's where they stay. That's where I keep them. Don't pick them up or I won't be able to find them anymore. Anybody here have a dumb best friend? You just point at her? That is not who you are. No. Dumb best friend? I mean, I don't know. Like you, that's you. You're like 10. You're gonna be dumb for like 4 more years. It's fine. You've done best friend though. So like, my best friend, his name is Kenny. Not Kenny with an E, but Kenny with an I. Like skinny without the S. It's the dumbest thing ever. Kenny. It's a dumb name. He comes over, get into a fight a couple weeks ago. Got into an argument. He said, Paco, sometimes you gotta let guide dogs be guide dogs. I'm like, it's bygones be bygones. How do you not know that? You're 50 years old. Shouldn't you know that by now? You know those friends you don't let them drive or use the barbecue? You're like, hey, I love you to death, but you're gonna burn the house down. You don't know how to do anything. That's Kenny. The other day, but sometimes like your dumb best friend is kind of a genius. Last week, Kitty was like, you ever notice that duo has 3 letters? I was like, wow, how'd you do that? And he's like, trio's got 4 letters. You know, I'm like, you're a genius. And then he was like, but 4? And I was like, I don't think that's how that works, Kitty. For my birthday, he knows I like to smoke a little weed. Chris, and your buddy, White Mike over there, what's up? They rode their bikes here. It's awesome. Thanks for coming. For my birthday, he bought me a reggae album because I like to listen to reggae. Not trying to brag. Put the album on. The first song went like this. Ba-da-da-da-bum, ba-da-da-da. I was like, Kitty, what is this? This isn't reggae? And he held up the album. He said, it is. He said, it's Herb Alert. I was like, Kitty, that's Herb Alpert. How are you that dumb? I don't get it. Trying to date, man, I don't know. I live in San Francisco. Thank you. Trying to date. I grew up on a farm in Michigan. I grew up in the redneck racist area of Michigan called Michigan. Thank you. Anybody else here from the great state? Oh, yeah, one over there? Well, you got out. Awesome. They let you out. Fantastic. Where are you from? Oh, Dearborn. That's not Michigan. All right, that's Detroit. That's a whole different thing. Do you do this? Yeah, do you guys know this about Michigan? Okay, I got the mic. Okay, I got to talk to you. Just like a Michigander trying to take up the stage. We do this. You guys know this about Michigan? Because we have really crappy public education. We think this is our map. People are like, where are you from? We're like, oh, from right here. You know, like, that's Florida down there. Anyways, glad you got out. I grew up in Michigan on a farm. So now I date girls in San Francisco. And they're like, you know, what's your sign? You know, like they have crystals. You know, I don't know about this. I grew up on a ranch with hogs and cattle. Like the only crystal we had was crystal meth. Like that's a big difference. You know what I'm saying? So I've been dating. It's a little weird. Dating this girl named Greta. It's awesome. I like bigger girls. She's a bigger woman. I like bigger women. I've been with smaller women. We have sex. They just tap out. Like it's a wrestling match. Greta's big. She's 6 foot, 200 pounds. The Niners are taking a look at her. She's got a nice figure, Bradley. I like Barry Sanders. All right, good. She's awesome. She's German, so our safe word is Volkswagen. She said, talk dirty to me. So I said, I want to see your papers. All right, relax. Have fun. It's so beautiful out. Isn't it? No, you guys are like, no, this is horrible. It's usually nicer here in San Diego. I live in the hate in San Francisco where like I'm obviously overdressed. I was like, I'm gonna bring my parka, my hoodie. Back to Greta. She's awesome. She's cool. She's into true crime. You guys into true crime? Yeah. Just the 4 serial killers that are here. Yeah, me. It's like, oh man, I shouldn't have raised my hand. They're after me. She's into true crime. I didn't know about true crime before dating. The biggest audience for true crime is women. You guys know that? Yeah. All right, be quiet. That's okay. I don't know. I feel like it's kind of weird that women would grow up to be like true crime fans. Because, when you're a little girl, they're like, don't talk to him, stranger danger, don't go over there. And they grow up like, I want serial killers in my life. The other day, like Greta just watches all true crime stuff all weekend. Last week, she heard a noise in her apartment. She was like, I was like, what? She's like, I think someone's in our apartment. And I was like, don't check. You're the detective. She's like, where's the gun? I was like, we're liberals. We don't have guns. She's like, take the tape measure. I'm like, am I just going to measure him to death? What is that? It's crazy. Oh, thank you. She said I'm funny for the rest of you guys. Right? Is that what you said? Yeah, good. I have one 12-year-old fan. That's awesome. Dear Mom and Dad, I was in Hayward in a parking lot. Sally, I know. I'm sorry. You guys. I know where I'm at. Barely. Yeah, she's good. Like sometimes, like I live across San Leandro. I live across the street from a church. Sometimes we like to cosplay, me and Greta. We'll go over there. She'll be like in a trench coat. I'll be in a suit. We'll just have like hard candy in our mouth and a pen and some paper, walking around saying things like, just doesn't add up. I think if all cops and detectives were women, there'd be no cold cases ever. Women are natural-born detectives. They're very, very good at it. Women would never let anything go. They would like go to the grave to solve something. You know what I'm saying? Guys who look like me are like, did we solve it? Can I have a donut? You know, we were like, I'm gonna get to this thing. The other day I was like, I'm gonna go to David's house. And Greta was like, yeah, David's house. I was like, how did you do that? I came back home and she was like, how was it? And I was like, it was fine. And then she turned into Columbo. She turned into a 1940s detective. She was just like, I got one more question for you. Would you have a seat there, pretty boy? She's awesome. But she is kind of girly still. Like, she's into crystals, like I said. Like, I don't know, there was a blue moon, a raspberry moon, and Mercury was in Gatorade or something was happening. She woke me up. She's like, Paco, full moon. I was like, oh, okay. It's like midnight. I'm like, I don't know what to do. You know, it's my first full moon. Wake up. You know, we just started dating, so I still have to be interested. You know, and I was like, oh, okay. Oh. And she's like, come to the kitchen. I go to the kitchen. She's got this jar full of crystals and water. And I was like, what are you doing? And she said, I'm making moon water. And I was like, what is moon water? She's like, you take this water in a jar and crystals. And I said, all you've done is invented Bud Light. It's all Bud Light is. It's just crappy tap water in a jar that someone's yelled racist words into. And she's like, no, you take this jar full of crystals and you put it on the moonbeams. I'm like, what Lisa Frank Wiccan princess fairy time thing is this? And then she's like, come outside with me. And I was like, yay, the adventure continues. We go outside and she's got this jar full of water and crystals. She's holding it up under the moonbeams, doing incantations. And I live in the Tenderloin in San Francisco. Even the crackheads are like, what is going on? What is like coming out of their tents? Like, what is happening? We were in Nashville, Tennessee, and she said, stop the car, crystal shop. I was like, how did you do that? It's only crystal shop in the South, I think. She's like, come upstairs with me. I'm like, got my doobie, listening to Steely Dan. I'm like, it's all right. Yeah. Go up there, and I don't know if you guys have been to crystal shops, but they're very tiny places, you know, and like I'm shaped like a thumb. Like they're always like these small crystals that are very expensive, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna break everything. So I'm just kind of in the corner minding my business, you know, and then the curtains open up. This lady comes out, looks like she's from Marin, you know, Birkenstocks, tie-dye from head to toe, like long purple scarf, you know, smells like dirt. And she's like, how you guys doing? Actually, she said, namaste, but it's the South, so she said, namaste. I'm like, you sure? And she's like, how you guys doing? I'm like, good. She's like, what's your name? I said, my name's Paco. And I said, what's your name? Remember, this is the South. She says, my name's Crystal. I was like, what? Like, crystals? And she said, I never thought of that. I'm like, what do you mean? It's right there. Like, what is the name? She said, this is the Crystal Palace. I'm like, that's a strip club. And so she's talking to Greta, like crystal talk, you know, like amethyst. And I was like, oh, that's like the name Mike Tyson named his daughter. So I'm like, come here, amethyst. All right, whatever. So then the curtains open up, and this guy comes out. He's been in the basement playing, you know, Call of Duty. It's her husband. He comes out. He's got one good leg and one wooden leg. He walks over. It looks like he's been in bar fights and war and plays that knife hand thing on bar. You know those guys? Like a rough and tumble dude. He's got a Jack Daniels hat on and a t-shirt that says "Kill a Commie for Mommy" on it. And he comes out and he's like, hey, y'all. We're like, hey. And he's like, where are you from? And I was like, I don't want to have to say San Francisco. You know those things, like your Republican uncle from Ohio? You know, I'm like, oh, shoot. Well, I'm like, we're from Canada. And he's like, no, where you from? And I was like, I'm from San Francisco. And he's like, you gay? And I was like, just because you're from San Francisco doesn't make you gay. You know what I'm saying? This is my girlfriend. It's not like you fly into SFO and the pilot's like, oh, ladies and gentlemen, please pull out your glitter and rainbows. Landing in San Francisco in 20 minutes. Doesn't work. He's like, you're from San Francisco, you're not gay. I'm like, you have a wooden leg, that doesn't make you a table. You know what I mean? All right, so if you guys go on a date, if someone asks you what your sign is, that doesn't tell you anything about anybody. You know how horoscopes are just made up? You know, horoscopes are like, tomorrow's going to be another day, and you're going to do something. You're like, oh my God, that's so Aries. You know, what will tell you more about somebody is where you are in the birth order of your family. If you go on a date or something, ask them where they are in the birth order of the family. Oldest, middle, youngest. That will tell you more about anybody than where they are in the signs of whatever. You know, if you go on a date, you say, where are you? They say, I'm the oldest. Run. The oldest are horrible people. The oldest are always like reporting for duty. They're always helping out mom and dad. They always run 501c3s. They're always volunteering for things. Are the oldest here? Yeah, see, they're all in the front, just ready to pick up trash after this, ready to move chairs. They got here like 8 hours ago. The oldest always have the itinerary plan when you go to Europe and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? But if you go on a date, you say, where are you the birth order of the family? They say, I'm the middle child. Red flag factory. The middle kid's never been seen their entire life. The middle kid's always shivering for some reason. They always have nosebleeds and tuberculosis. They're just kind of shivering in the corner. No one knows their name. Billy, Bobby, Susie, Jenny. You're like, oh my God, his name. So if the oldest is like reporting for duty, the middle child is just kind of shivering like a cat without hair. Any middle kids here? And you see how quiet they are? They're all way over there by the exit, so you can get to the hospital quicker. But if you go on a date and you say, where are you in the birth order of your family? They say, I'm the youngest. Serial killers. They're all serial killers. Because it's like their parents gave up. Like, I had 6 kids. Just do whatever you want, but just do it outside. You know what I mean? You guys are fantastic for showing up to this thing. Thank you guys so much. It's a wonderful thing here in beautiful San Diego. Talk over me, ladies and gentlemen. Talk over me. We off to a good start? Yeah. All right, I'm going to keep this comedy train moving. Next time, it's an old buddy of mine. He has been a writer for Jay Leno and SNL. He plays clubs and concerts all around the country. And if you're an old KGO listener, he used to have a show on right after mine. So please put your hands together and welcome my new friend, Mr. Chip Franklin. Brian Copeland, come on. What a beautiful day. This weather is like, I'm from back east originally, so I truly appreciate California in days like this. But I was at the airport today and I had Fox News was on, and yeah, I know. And they said people are fleeing California. And I said, really? Great, right? Can I drive you to the airport? You know, and that's just part of this whole thing about, like, because I live in San Diego and everybody loves San Diego. People will say, like, I hate California. Where do you live? I go, San Diego. I love San Diego. Then I tell them we're like 10 miles from Mexico, and you get that thing, you know. I was in Arizona, and I saw one of these signs that said, English only. And I said to the guy, I go, what's the deal with that? And he goes, there's myrrh. We speak English in myrrh. Well, we don't have to speak, what do we speak Mexican for? And I said, did you ever think, you shouldn't end the sentence with the preposition? He went, huh? I don't know. And it's interesting, I grew up in a big family, big Catholic family. I had 11 older sisters. I didn't go to the bathroom for 14 years. I learned about women, though. I learned all your secrets. And the biggest secret is you don't take men seriously, do you? I know that. I know if women rose to power, like as the presidents and queens of the world, you could replace us with an IVF doctor and 2 D-cell batteries, pretty much, right? Yeah, and it's funny too, because I have sons, but I've been married for a long time. I got a kind of a weird sort of thing with that, is that my wife and I were married for 10 years, then we divorced, and we both married other people for 5 years, then divorced, then remarried again, and now we're still married. And we would get divorced again, but we're broke.
and she's a very bright woman, a lot brighter than me. Has a doctorate in English literature. I can't make the automatic door open at the department store, right? I'm like, I don't have any technical skills. It's a little intimidating to go to parties and all her friends are there. And we were there recently. There was a couple, and I said to the guy, I go, so what do you do? He goes, I'm an OBGYN. I go, I can spell. But how many single people here dating? Anybody dating? Wow, we are old, aren't we? But I mean, my son, I have one son that's married and one that's still dating, and he talks about the fights you get in. When you're dating, the fights are much different than when you're married, right? I mean, when you're single, one wrong word, the relationship's over. When you're married, it's an intractable ditch, right? I think my wife and I, we get in these fights, and I'll go I'll get all mad, and I'll go, I'm out of here, and I go outside, and I slam the door, and I'm out front, and I'm like, where the hell am I gonna go? Right? We had a fight the other night. I don't know if you ever had this fight. We fight over the stupidest. We fought over whether or not to leave the window cracked while we slept. She likes it open. I like it shut. We're going back and forth. Open, shut, open, shut. Finally, I give in. I say, I don't care. Keep the window open, all right? Now she wants to come inside. It's great, it is interesting, though, to think about just, how the things that brought you to this moment here. And my kids are, they're graduating college, and I, as a liberal arts major, I majored in philosophy. I graduated, got a job with a philosophy company. We didn't have a product, but we knew why. I'm a deep thinker, you can probably tell. I have deep thoughts all the time. Sometimes I'll finish a show, I'll go out, lay in a field, stare up at the stars, think to myself, I gotta get an apartment. It's hard trying to find a job when you're a kid like that with a liberal arts degree. Nobody warns you, about the things that really matter. And, first job I got, I worked for my uncle's funeral parlor. I had the unenviable task of preparing bodies for burial. One day I had this woman laying there on a slab. All of a sudden she sat right up, some kind of bizarre muscle spasm or something. Scared the hell out of me. I never got dressed so quick in my entire life, let me tell you. Yeah, I had strange jobs because I played in bands and did stand up. You couldn't always get work. When I was about 21, I worked in this motel. I had the overnight shift, and this guy comes in with his family. He comes up and he leans over the counter and he whispers to me, he goes, I hope the porn is disabled. I go, no, it's regular porn. What's wrong with you, man? I tell you, though, growing up with 18 older sisters, I found that I understand the whole premise, about I understand the whole premise about pornography. Because when we grew up, right, if you're my age, you remember. To me, when I was 12 years old, the lingerie section from the Sears Roebuck catalog. Oh my God, right? Remember that? If they had the internet when I was 12, I'd be walking with crutches today. Oh, that's I believe this. I really believe this. That one of the things about growing up in a world where, I really truly believe it's hard for women, and it's especially hard for women that have husbands. And that's the thing is if you're one of these people that if you have a family and that I had no idea what childbirth was going to be like when I went in there because my dad didn't have to go in. Your fathers did, right? They sat out in the waiting room with a Playboy and a cigar waiting for some pink to come through the door, right? I was a kid. I went in, I had no idea what to expect. I thought it was going to be like, rose petals and Kenny G, and I went, it was like Vietnam. I remember this. my son, you know, his wife's pregnant now. I'm going to be a grandfather. And he says, what do you remember? What was it like? It's a joke. I made that up. But anyway, but the whole process, I mean, do you remember? Do you remember everything in there? You remember what? I'll never forget any aspect. I remember my wife laying there, legs spread, screaming in pain, writhing in agony. Who'd have thought 9 months later we'd have a baby? Yeah. You ever seen a guy? I love this because I know I totally agree with the idea that porn is degrading to women. I truly believe that. But have you ever seen a guy's face when he's watching porn? They don't look like the superior sex, if you're asking me. You know, I do believe this though. That one of the things about growing up in, you know, I grew up back east, which is a little bit different than out here. You can't tell unless you see me drive. I mean, I'm one of those people. Have you ever been like in going through the city and an Uber driver decides he's going to stop in the middle of the road to look for a fare? I'm not for the death penalty, but so anyway, so I have my kids when they were little used to be growing up Catholic like we did. I don't know if you know much about. Are there Catholics here? So your parents will tell you when you're young things like, you know, my mom used to tell me, you're going to marry the first person you have sex with. And I said, I don't know. I can't see me spend the rest of my life with Father O'Reilly. But that's come on. I think I'm making this up. So a big part of this was, as a kid, I remember my son asked me once, he goes, you know, why do people die? I said, well, son, some people owe me money. And I'm at that time in my life, you know, when your parents and, you know, people that raised you start to go, and it's hard. My grandmother just died. My grandma was 101. She just died. Yeah. At the end, it was kind of sad. At the end, she actually asked me to help her commit suicide. At least I think that's what she said. Maybe she needed a ride. I don't know. I think, you know, my grandmother and grandparents actually they came and lived with my wife and I, and at the end, and it was great. I mean, you know, it was a wonderful experience for my kids to be around people in their 90s, and they were active, and you know, my grandmother was really active. Every day she'd be outside, like in, you know, planting and cutting little flowers and just in the garden, basically. You know, my grandfather a little more sedate. He'd be in the den with remote control, flipping away, whatever's on TV, just happy as a clam, right? I went in there one day, and he's flipping on the TV, but it's the wrong remote. There's nothing on. He'd been in there for an hour doing that. I felt horrible. So I found the right remote. I gave it to him, and he was happy. You know. And about an hour later, I went outside. I found my grandmother pinned into the garage door. That really happened. It's hard. Death is hard, right? When my grandfather died, my grandma was really upset because she wanted him buried in his blue suit. You know, it was this beautiful blue suit. And she was really upset. She's going, I wanted blue and you have him in brown. And I was like, the guy was like, look, Mrs. Franklin, relax. We can fix it. It's no big deal. Hey, Bob, switch the heads on 9 and 14, will you, please? Oh, I lost you with that, didn't I? If you had a physical, you get your physical. How many people are over 50 here? Clap if you're over 50. Hear that? I have to start taking cholesterol medication, like a statin, because I don't know, the bad cholesterol, good cholesterol. I think deep down inside, all cholesterol is good, you know. Yeah, and your weight, at some point, they tell you, you know, at some point they just give up. They tell you, it's okay, you're fine, just stay that way. But, right, you know, the doctor won't even see you anymore. It's like, but it is, like, I think about that, like, you know, with Ozempic and the people, I'm happy for people that have lost a lot of weight. You know, did you see Huckabee Sanders? She, like, lost a person. Did you think? Do you know how Ozempic works, right? Ozempic basically tricks your brain into not thinking about food. You just kind of forget about food. And I was thinking, wouldn't it be great if they made Ozempic for like Trump supporters? I mean, one day you take them, why am I wearing this red hat? Who's that fat orange guy? What? Yeah. I really do. I think this is interesting and important to kind of understand, you know, our future and where we're headed, especially as you do get older. I had a high school reunion, and this guy came back. He was 50, and his date was 25. Now the guys are going, yeah. So, you think that's unusual, unnatural? I mean, here's my thought, right? When you turn 50, you shouldn't date anybody younger than your waist size. Let me tell you something. If you're 50 and you have a 25-inch waist, you're gay. You're not fooling anybody, man, okay? I think about that too. It's like, you know, like as you get older and you start to like, I mean, I don't know officially when I became, I think it was when I looked in Playboy and I saw the date that girl was born, and I can remember what I was doing that afternoon. That was kind of the beginning of that for me. I think that there's a lot to be said about that with, you know, my father was a cop, and so it was a very strict house. You know, he was a cop for 25 years in DC. He pulled his gun out once. Let me tell you, I never did that again either. So did anybody ever hear me on KGO? That's why I lost the gig, right? Okay. It's okay. We did a lot of politics, and you know, in fact, that's all we talked about was politics. And that gets old. They made me go to things. Once I had to go to like a pro-life rally, and I locked my keys in my car. Fortunately, everybody there had a coat hanger. And, yeah. You know, it's interesting, too. Like, you know, I look at this and I think about, like, I read this the other day that 7 out of 10 high school students couldn't find Canada on a map. I'm thinking that's pretty sad. But then I started thinking, I kicked that draft, and I bet those numbers start changing pretty quick, right? Yeah, no draft. A couple guys my age. I think one of the things, too, that you see, and we're fortunate in the Bay Area because you don't get this. When you travel, like, you know, when people say they want to leave California, I'm like, where are you going to go? Right? I mean, here, you know, you're going to go to Tennessee. I mean, you could be here, you're a biotech engineer. You go to Tennessee, you're a waitress at Cracker Barrel, right? Hello, Mr. Grand Wizard, what do you have today? No. Is that unfair? Are you from the South? Is it okay to talk about the South? I'll talk slow. You know, in Tennessee, I read this. They banned the teaching of evolution. Now, I don't know if you've ever noticed. Have you ever noticed that the people that are against evolution are the ones that would most benefit from it? I don't know. I think it is. To me, it's a fascinating concept moving forward with, you know, what we have to do to get this country kind of going again and moving again forward. I mean, you would agree, I think, right? There's a lot that we can still do. But I think, you know, at the very least, you know, you should be teaching people, right? I mean, I grew up in D.C. and I kind of have a weird kind of background because my mother was Jewish and my dad was Catholic, right? And we lived right next door to the Israeli embassy. We did, which was great. They were really wonderful people, you know. Except every day their fence kept moving more and more to my yard. You know. Maybe not. So yeah, I am seeking professional help. I am. Anybody ever been to a shrink? I think everybody should have to go to it. On one level. I mean, I was in there not long ago, and he's like, Chip, I sense a lot of anger, a lot of deep-seated anger. And I don't know, $250 an hour might be tickling it just a little bit, but I am a type A personality, very type A. I'm the guy standing in the supermarket counting up the other people's items in line. That's part of it. I think part of being this way is I noticed when I would like just try to drive, I was living in Lafayette and I'd be downtown and trying to drive home. And as I mentioned before, the Uber driver stopped and I'm trying to, right, to not be that person. But do you do this in traffic? You ever do this? You're in bumper to bumper traffic and you want to be in the fastest lane. So you pick a lane, but just to make sure you pick the right lane, you pick a car in each of the other lanes to see how fast they're moving, right? As long as you can still see those cars, you're fine. And then one lane starts to pull in, you're like, ah! And then the car in front of you does this thing. He stops, looks at the guy in that lane and goes. There's a lot of anger there, you know? And I don't know, I was driving recently and I was behind this woman and a bumper sticker said, I'm following Christ. So I pulled in front of her. I was waving at her. I bless you all. How you doing? I did that joke in Alabama. Not well received. No. Woman comes up to me. She goes, "You going to hell?" I go, "Lady, I'm in Alabama. Hell ain't really scaring me now." Hey, thanks a lot, you guys. You were great. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Jim Franklin, ladies and gentlemen. This is my little granddaughter, Nora. Brought her up with me last year at the end. I don't think she's going to make it at the end this year. Can you say thanks for coming? I wasn't at work twice. When I was doing my set and I asked for me to clap and even spanked, my daughter said she started clapping. It's like you've never respected your life. Have you? You a good girl? Oh, okay. I shouldn't ask for that yet. All right, coming to the stage now, another dear friend of mine. Most recently, she was on America's Got Talent and just killed it. Even a silent looker on America's Got Talent. She's got a special out called "Don't Make Me Hate You." Please welcome to the stage my good friend, Maureen Langan.
That's what you want as a comedian. You want to go up after a baby that everybody loves. Isn't she the cutest thing? The only thing worse was when I lost to a dog in the semifinals of America's Got Talent. I lost to a dog. I love dogs. If I didn't have one, would be in a shelter right now. Let me tell you, kill a shelter. No, I love. You are hilarious. You like. I can beat you. So, and there was a person on the show. He actually set his mother on fire. She lived, but still, he set her on fire. Had I only known that was an option, I didn't know. I have a mother, a father, 5 siblings. We could have been somebody. Anyway, it's good to see you all here in this parking lot. I like it here. They said that my career would take off, and they were right. I'm so happy to be here, and I love to be in a town that believes in books and libraries. Isn't that nice? Not banning books. I was an English major and a journalist, and I am not for banning books, but guess who got a book deal? Kim Kardashian. Oh. I don't know if it was a coloring book. I have no idea. All I know is I'm not for banning books, but if I were, hers would be the first to go. On fire. So anyway, I'm all about love. You probably feel that immediately with me. And I don't want to hate people. They make me hate them. I start out loving everyone. I love it's what you do that causes me to hate you. I'm a victim. I fly a lot. I'm on the airplane. A woman in the seat behind me, she gets up, she starts spritzing cinnamon. I said, "Lady, what are you doing?" She said, "Well, it's natural." I said, "Well, so is my butt, but I'm not putting it in your face." You see how I didn't want to hate her, how she made me hate you? And do me a favor, stop with the heavy perfume. Don't wear patchouli oil. Who came up with that disgusting smell? Well, stop it. Stop wearing that musky crap. Patchouli, the fragrance that asks, "Do I repulse you?" Actually, you do. You and your tie-dye t-shirt, you repulse me. You repulse me because you reek. You smell like you rolled around and scat dumb all day. Take a shower. But guess what? The big trend now is don't take a shower. Have you seen this Lumi product? Lumi. It's an all-over body deodorant for pits, privates, and beyond. And beyond, I don't know what beyond is. All I know is the doctor who invented it is on the commercial. She's in the bathroom in front of a shower and a sink, on the inside of your butt cheeks, the folds of your fat, your intramammary cleft, your jungle bridge. She says it's cruelty-free. I'm like, that is not a victimless crime. Because when that wears off, I gotta smell your disgusting, freaky, infected, skanky self. Bloomy for lazy skanks. Get yourself some water. Get yourself some water. Find a babbling brook, a ravine, a latrine. Guess what? We're having tornadoes and hurricanes with all this global warming. We're into the eye of a storm. Find the hot two girl, have her spit on you. Do something, you skank. I don't want to hate people. How hard do you have to work? Like you shower, sir? That's normal. I mean, like more than once a month, right? Like thank God up in heaven. All right, focus. Here's the deal. I don't want to hate people. They make me hate them. I had a car accident recently. I am all right. Do not worry about worrying. Young guy, stoned out of his mind, on his cell phone, music blaring, barrels into the back of my car, gets out with his man bun. I have a dirty word for children in here. I'll tell you later. And he's like, dude, I don't know what happened, dude. I said, no, what happened is in 1999, your mother forgot her birth control. That's what happened, dude. Dude, call me dude. I had a call. I went to the Bureau of Vital Statistics in Manhattan, and I said to the man behind the counter, I said, sir, I need a copy of the death certificate. He said, is it for you? Dead on the inside. Does that count? Dead on the inside. Went to look for a burial plot. That's a little creepy. And the tour director's taking me around. She says, this plot is only $68,000. I said, $68,000? She says, it has a view of the Atlantic. I'm going to be dead. And if I get resurrected, I'll have donated my eyes to science, so there'll be nothing for me to see here. This is a lose-lose proposition. Don't make me hate you. I want to hate people. They make me hate them. Well, I was at this Starbucks, and I said to the struggling actor, the barista, I said, please, sir, may I have the special espresso, sir? Please, sir, the special espresso, sir. He said, I'm sorry, that's only online. I said, but I'm in line. He goes, yeah, but it's only online. I said, so if I go over here and order online, I then get back in line to get my online order? He said, yes. I said, but I can't get my app to work. He said, erase your history. I said, 20 years of therapy. I haven't been able to erase my history. You've got the Irish mother always in your head. You're good for nothing, piece of crap. You're lazy, love your cow, your South. Because when your mother has an Irish accent, she can say those hurtful things. It sounds like a Celtic poem. So then I got the woman behind me at the Starbucks. You know the one who's more important than you? You know, she lives in Piedmont. You know her, she's more important than you. Is she here? She's like, order already. I'm in a hurry. I go, well then leave. She's like, I'm late picking my kid up from school. I go, oh, so it's my fault you abandoned Bobby in favor of Columbia coffee beans? That's my problem, lady? She goes, no, I don't like you. I am out of here. I go, good, you better hurry up before Child Protective Services shows up. And here's a little tip for you, lady. Next time, think ahead and order online. Do you see how I help people who are even mean to me? You see that? Because I'm a good person. And you know how I know I'm a good person? My friend told me that she and her husband agree I'm a good person, which means they actually sat down to discuss whether or not I'm a good person. So there was a vote and a meeting, and I won. Good person. You have a defensive posture. I'm all about love. Okay, so my father, Huey Leggins from the South Bronx, he's a retired New York City sanitation worker, a real street guy. You know Huey? Oh, yeah? So he says to me, excuse me, I have a bit of the allergies, stand by. So he goes, what the hell are you doing in Starbucks? Who in their right mind spent $7 for a cup of coffee? When all you gotta do is walk into any hospital waiting room across America and take all the free coffee you never want. He is so politically incorrect. He's not on purpose, it's just his generation. I said, hey Dad, we don't call people homeless anymore, we say they're unhoused. Of course they're unhoused, they don't have a home. Therefore, they're homeless. Is this a riddle? Am I in a riddle? Is this a riddle? Is this woke? Is this woke? If this is woke, I'm going back to bed. And when the hell are you getting out of here? I go, you're kicking me out of your house? No, I'm rehoming you. All right, so the real reason I'm here is because I'm a motivational speaker, and that's why they invited me here today. And I'm here to tell you, it doesn't matter how old or ugly a man is, as long as he is famous or wealthy, he will get sex to the day he dies. Are you very wealthy, sir? Oh, all right, well, calm down, calm down. You're good looking, but that's only gonna get you so far, baby. Look at Trump, he's on his third wife. Do you understand what I'm saying? Look at him. Do you understand? You can't make, people go bananas when you make political jokes. I said that Trump was caught with a stripper. I would have been more shocked if he been caught with a book. And then I said, he loves the classics. That's not true. He loves Lord of the Flies, Nasty Little Women, A Catcher in the, you know where, I can't say it because the kids are here. Then somebody said, well, why don't you make fun of Biden? I said, because I was raised and you don't speak ill of the dead. That's why. Equal opportunity. All right, stop. Let's have some fun. I hate everybody. So anyway, I love people. They make me hate them. I love you. You're nice. I like you. What's your name? I like you, Jay. You get to stay. You're one of the good ones. I'm being sarcastic. I like people overall. Some people not so much, but I bet I would really like hanging out with you. You seem like a cool kid. You can clap for him. He's nice. Not at all intimidated when he gets from the audience. So anyway, I'm kidding. I'm here to tell. Doesn't matter how. Okay, so I learned this many decades ago. It doesn't matter how old or ugly a man is. I learned this decades ago from Anna Nicole Smith, my spiritual advisor. I learned that so long ago. She was married to an octogenarian in a wheelchair. He hadn't walked since Watergate. For the young kids, that was a political crisis in our country in the 1970s. And he got Anna. Al Pacino is 83. His 29-year-old girlfriend recently had a baby. And then she filed for custody. I'm like, why file? Just wait. And it's over for me. I don't think it's over for me at all. But people treat me like I'm Canada. I have so much to offer, but nobody gives a crap. My own sister, I don't want to hate people, but you never know who they're going to be. My own sister, for my birthday, gave me a bread maker. Bread so I could bake my own loaves of bread. Just look at me, clearly that's what I want to do. I want to bake bread. What am I, a pilgrim? What is happening in America? There has been a resurgence of women who are knitting and quilting. Stitch and bitch societies are popping up all around the country. She says to me, well, Maureen, why won't you just try crocheting? Why? Because we had an industrial revolution. Ding, 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 ding. It's the reason I'm not down at the river beating my bloomers on a rock. It's the reason I don't use looming. Shower. Because we had an industrial revolution. I'm smearing stuff on my butt cheeks. Gross. Disgusting skanks. Anyway, do you know whose fault it is that there's been this resurgence of women who are knitting and quilting? I blame Martha Stewart. It's her fault. Well, she won't stop. We tried to get her to stop. We put her in jail. But she came out. And the problem with putting people in jail in America is when they come out, they're more famous than before they went in. So she gets rewarded with another cooking show with a rapper who loves his weed. Snoop Dogg, he'd bring the pond, she'd bring the pan. It was bake and bake. And do you ever listen to how she talks? It ain't right. Let's marinade the meat. Place the meat in the marinade. Marinade. Who talks like that? Martha grew up in New Jersey. I grew up in New Jersey. Nobody marinades in New Jersey. We don't drink lemonade. We don't march in parades. We don't play charades. Because it's odd, it's a facade. And by God, people who talk like that, they don't get laud. Little wordplay there for you people. Stand by. So crazy. So I am at that age, post-period, pre-death. It's my age range. When some women want to be cougars. I don't want to be a cougar. My friend Carol says, but Maureen, dating a 30-year-old makes me feel so young. I'm like, all right, but it makes you look so old. You want to look and feel young, you should have dated Larry King. That's what you should have done. That ship sailed. I feel really hot next to Larry King. You know, hey, how'd you get the dead guy? Didn't he look like he died before he died? When people told you that Larry King died, weren't you like, of course, 1927? They're like, no, last Thursday. I was so confused. Not my point. I don't want to be a cougar. I don't need some young hot guy named Chad coming up to me, touching my belly fat, going, ew, what's this? What's this, you little piece of crap? That's a bad word, don't say that. You little piece of crap. What is this? This is rage. Covered by affordable treats and wine from Trader Joe's. That's what we got going here. Love JoJo's. JoJo's are really good. They're not, the cookie portion isn't as sugary as Oreos, and it's not like a double stuff or a single. It's like just one and that. Okay. I want a guy. Well, first of all, you don't want to be a cookie. Well, look what happened. Poor actress Demi DeMee, whatever her silly name was before. Demi DeMee was married to Ashton Kutcher. He turned 13 or 14. He got rid of his paper route. He dumped her. She couldn't function. Forget it. She should have come to me. I would have helped her. This is what you do. I want a guy around 96 years old, where I am the hottest thing between him and death. This is him, death, him, death, him, death, him, death, him, death. This is death, 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 him, death. He can't believe he got me because he knows he'll never get anyone better to the day he dies. And he's not looking over his shoulder for somebody younger and hotter. You know why? He has arthritis in his neck. He can't move his neck. He has to move his whole body. And I'm going to spot that. And he sees none of my flaws. He sees no cellulite, belly fat, varicose veins. Why? Cataracts. Jazz hands equals cataracts. And I love him. I love him. And I look into his milky white eyes. And I say, I love you! Because he's hard of hearing and I want him to know. So my boyfriend's a bit older than me and he came home from his yearly physical and he said, Maureen, you're never going to believe this, but the doctor says I have cataracts. I said, oh my God, all my dreams are coming true. I'm so lucky, very lucky person. But I've been watching a very inspiring show about successful women on the Oxygen Network. It's called Snapped. Here's the premise. A woman kills somebody, usually her husband, and she gets rewarded. Yeah, so what happens is, the episode that really resonated for me, there's a woman in jail because she killed her husband, but I don't remember her name, so let's call her Killer. Are you seeing my acting ability? Are you seeing this? Okay, Killer killed her husband because he was battering her, so he had it coming. She got a prison sentence as she deserved. You know what else she got? A book and a movie deal. Because she killed her husband. And TV credits. I was an English major and a journalist. I know how to conjugate verbs. I know how to diagram sentences. I know the properties of semicolons, semi-friggin' colons. They separate independent clauses, noun, verb, object, noun, verb, object. Two sentences so closely linked together, almost sharing one thought, but not quite. They can stand alone. They're fine alone. They're not codependent. They choose to come together because together they know they're better and they're stronger. I want you and you want me. Hell yeah, let's do this. A semicolon is true love. Look at semicolon joke right outside a library. Look at that, huh? Library semicolon joke. But I can't get a book and a movie deal because I was married to a man who respected me for a while. Now, my father's an alcoholic. Whose is it? Blah, blah, cry me a river. I used to go to Al-Anon, but that sucked because nobody ever wanted to go out for a glass of wine afterwards. Do you know how many daughters of alcoholics marry abusers and batterers? Like 98%. Not me. I couldn't even get that right. I was married to the good guy, the nice guy. What can I do? Can I cook? Can I clean? What can I do? 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 Get off of me. You know what you can do? You can hit me so I can shoot you. That's what you can do. I can see the headlines now. Maureen shoots her husband. She gets a book and movie deal. Huh? I'll tell you one more thing, and then I'm very busy. But you know what, you guys, you have to follow me on the stalking sites. That's all that matters anymore. I have a joke about the Hot 2 girl, but I can't tell you because of a mixed company. But she's famous now because she Hot 2s on things. It doesn't matter. God has a plan. Wish he had a better party planner. But anyway, good Lord God, Heavenly Father. So here we go. So I'm going to wrap it up with this. It doesn't matter how old. First of all, I got to let you know that my husband, it turned out he was gay. Well, he was a golfer. It's almost the same thing. So anyway, they all wear the same outfits. Wood and holes and guys named Mulligan. I don't know what's going on. So ridiculous. But doesn't matter how old or ugly a man is, famous or wealthy, hot chicks to the day he dies. He can even be, we can't use bad words like deformed. I was an English maybe you can say askew. He can be askew, a little off, a crooked critter. Like, remember the singer Lyle Lovin? He's askew. He's a little crooked. He looks like he fell off a Ferris wheel and he got stuck like a parallelogram. He's a little off center. It's a parallelogram reference. So that's not my point. And hear me out, because I'm a good person, because my friend's disgusted. And do you remember? Oh God, my mother. I can hear her. Jesus, don't you be so mean. I'm not. Remember Stephen Hawking? God rest his soul. He couldn't move from his head to his toes. He was in a wheelchair. He blew through straws and went through a computer, and that's how he communicated. Right? I mean, you know, he was even on Epstein Island. I don't know if he got a lap dance or you spin me right round, baby, right round. I don't know what was going on on Epstein Island. Sick. But he couldn't move. I'm not being mean. It's just a perfect example. Couldn't move from his head to his toes, blew through his drawers. Ready for this? Stephen Hawking left his wife for another woman. I don't think all of you are getting this. The man couldn't move, and he left his wife. Men who can't move are leaving women. Let me tell you something. You want to leave me? You better be able to move, and you better move friggin' fast. Come on. Do you realize he literally blew her off? All right, you guys, you know, I'm Brian Copeland. I'm going to take a little video of you. You people, I love you guys. I love all of you. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for having me. I'm Brian Copeland. That's wonderful, Brian.
Brian Copeland, ladies and gentlemen. Show us some love. Are you having fun? No? Okay. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. We're about halfway. I think we're exactly halfway through. So we got 3 more comics for you. This next gentleman, these are all for the things. One of the reasons I love putting the show on is I can have all my friends come down. So this is another old friend of mine. We came up together as stand-up. You've seen him on BET. You've seen him on Netflix. Now you're going to see him here on this stage. Please welcome Dial. Be it.
More noise, you're not at work. It was a beautiful day. Let's hear it for Paco, Brian, Chip, Marie. It's fantastic. I was going to golf, but I didn't want to think I was clear. I do like to golf, though. Black people should golf every day. Seriously, hey, anytime you can hit white balls with a stick, and it channels aggression. I get pulled over too many times straight to the golf club. And I smoke weed on the golf course. Surprise, look at my haircut. I love weed. Nobody snitches, nobody says anything. Even in states where weed is illegal, nobody says anything on the golf course. What are they gonna do? They're gonna run over the course manager. Oh my God, I'm glad you're here. That big black guy with dreadlocks has a giant bag of weed. Sounds about right, yeah. Nobody cares. You got a whiskey and a cigar, I got a blunt and Diet Coke. It is a beautiful day outside. Let us all have a wonderful time. Keep your head down. 4, 20. One time up in Sacramento, I got paired up with this random middle-aged white dude, me and him on the golf course in Emerald Lakes, Elk Grove, California. And my thing is I like to play the first 2 holes to get a feel for it, and then I fire up a doobie, and I lock it in, right? So we play the first 2 holes, I'll pull out a hoop, I take a couple puffs, I do the Christian thing, right? Hey man, would you like a hit? And he goes, no thank you, do you have any crack? First of all, no. Secondly, I find your presumptuousness a tad off-putting. Because that's how I talk when I'm mad. I turn into T.I. Also, who does crack on the golf course? What's wrong with you? That's not gonna help you swing. You can't show up all cracked out like right drug for the right activity. Right? Weed in golf makes sense. Booze in golf makes sense. Crack in golf don't make a lick of sense. You understand? You don't do a bunch of speed and go to a chess tournament. You don't do a bunch of mushrooms and try to run a marathon. What do you mean I'm off course? This whole planet is off course, man. We're all going the wrong way. We all need to turn around, brother. I see through the whole thing right now. Why am I wearing a number? I'm not a number. Can't run a marathon on mushrooms. It'll take you 3 days. Just crying and laughing the whole time. Right? Crying because your feet hurt and laughing because you're happy to have feet. They're amazing. You ever look at them? I can wiggle my toes. It starts at my brain. It goes to my feet. I mostly smoke weed, though. I love weed. I do, for real. It helps me so much. It made me a better parent. It did. I never hit my kids. Ever. I talked to them 3 or 4 hours. They probably wish I would have. Are you still talking? Can I get a spanking? Wrap it up. I got things to do. My kids will take advantage when your dad's a stoner and they're little, man. That means that dad will take you to any animated feature ever at any time, right? They would just run up with me with the plot lines. What is it? What do you want to do? The Panda Knows Kung Fu? Hell yeah, get your shit. Let's go. Hurry up. I don't want to be late. You guys go get the tickets. Don't look at me. Look for cars. Go get the tickets. I never had any problems with my kids. When they were really little, maybe. This is the only problem. They would wake up early, like 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't get up at 6 in the morning. The only people I knew other than my children who wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, I would bump into them on my way home. Do you understand? Morning, Frank. Morning, Ralph. Right? Like, we had to have a talk. I was like, hey, listen, Daddy works in nightclubs at night. And a lot of times he wants to have a drink or two, might want to smoke a blunt or 3 in the parking lot after the show with people he just met. So let's start all this baby shit at like 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock, you come get me pancakes for everybody. Right? Babies don't compromise. They're not negotiators. They just wake up at 6 in the morning, ready to go. I'm not ready. I don't want to be the evil dad, right? With the codeine, cough syrup, and a spoon. What, I heard a cough. Did you hear a cough? I heard a cough. Hey, little loud boy, come here. Yeah, you. What do you weigh? Because I'm not trying to kill him. I just want 2 hours on Sunday. Can I get it? I don't even have kids. I have adults now. They're adults now. They're not. Everybody's like, what? You live in a weird fantasy world, sir. You are Delulu. Getting older. What do they say? They say 40 is the old age of youth and 50 is the youth of old age, right? So I'm 56, so I'm a young old man. And it's not bad. I don't mind it. I'm still fairly spry. I mean, I know when it's going to rain, but that's cool. But I find old man shit creeping into my patterns, right? Just the other day, I was boring the young woman at the pharmacy while I was picking up my prescription. Just telling her some long, involved ass story. No reason. No reason. I mean, here's the reason. I want to hit on her, but that's impossible. So you just have to listen to this long ass story because I don't know what else to do. Right? That's how it goes. I've gone from, damn, girl, you look good, to like, hey, is your mama single? Like, how's your auntie doing? Is she cool? You look like her. It's one of those things. I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to eat healthier. It's hard. It's hard to eat healthy. I'm an American, right? We're Americans. We're not healthy eaters. Americans lead the league in inventing newer and ever more delicious ways to eat like shit. That's what we do. That's what Americans do. Oh, you like Doritos and you like tacos? Well, guess what? Guess what? Right? You start to feel like that pizza is kind of boring and healthy, especially in the crustal area. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna take some bacon and some cheese and a freaking hot dog and put it in your pizza crust. Freedom! You take that bacon cheese hot dog crust and you dip it in some ranch dressing. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. It tastes like Jesus holding a gun. That's what it tastes like. It's delicious. Millions of dollars in R&D on authentic Jesus holding a gun flavor. I woke up one morning a few years ago. I woke up one morning and walked into my kitchen. And my roommate at the time, she was from the deep south. She was in there buttering a Pop-Tart. I'm from Northern California. I was not hip. I was like, what are you doing? I'm buttering my Pop-Tarts. Like, are you kidding me? And then she gave me a bite, and then I was just mad at her. Right? I wish you had never showed me that. It was delicious. But I'm 50 years old. I can't start buttering Pop-Tarts. That can't be new. You can't swim enough laps in a day to introduce buttered Pop-Tarts into your middle-aged breakfast routine. Right? I'm trying to eat the rainbow. I'm trying to mix in a salad. Right? I'm not full vegan. You know the vegans here? Woo! We're about to talk about you. With love. Here's the thing. It's very healthy, no meat, no dairy, very healthy, very sustainable. That's cool. But they always want to make up some shit, right? They want to make up some fake shit to replace the real shit that they used to eat. And hey, man, be yourself, right? That's cool. But if you're a vegan, you get invited to a potluck, bring a salad. Don't muck about, don't show up. Hey, I made cheese out of cashews. Would you like to eat my nut cheese? Hell no, thank you. I mean, I know you went to trouble, but you can go past veganism on the food evolutionary ladder. You can get all the way up to raw food. They don't cook. Everything is just raw. They invite you over for dinner and they just forage in the backyard. I found wild arugula and berries and Rainbow made kombucha. It will be a proper feast. Woo! They're very evangelical, the raw people, too. They're very evangelical. They're always trying to convert you to the raw side, always on your case. You still cook your food? What are you, a caveman, brother? Rawr. Come on, man. It's the 21st century. It's life. It's enzymes. It's vibrations. It's consciousness. I'm one with the universe right now. I am rawness personified. You know I don't even shit anymore? I squat over my worm box and rich, fresh compost shoots directly out of my ass. Circle of life. Never thought I'd ever say this. It's good to be here in San Leandro. It's not bad. I've been on the road a long time. My first paid professional stand-up comedy gig was in 1988, right? So that's 35 years, almost 36 years, 37, I don't know that, that's what we need. It's a long time. And it's not always as cool as a beautiful day in lovely downtown San Leandro with a bunch of your homies and shit. I've played some horrible, shitty, shite, scheisse, mierda, dumcha, poo-poo, gigs in my life. I'll tell you a story. A million years ago, me and Doug Stanhope did a 2-week tour of horrible one-nighters in Texas and Oklahoma, right? So every night is a different dysfunctional town. There's no Dallas, there's no Houston, there's no Austin. We didn't even play San Antonio. We played like Armpit, Texas, and Brown Eye, Oklahoma. Just horrible, tiny, small. Waco, Texas. Last night of tour, Waco, Texas. I just got paid. I got a handful of cash. I'm in my very early 20s. Right? Hey, bartender, what is there doing in Waco, Texas on a Saturday night? Well, young fellas, you can go to the Bring Your Own Beer titty bar that's 3 miles outside of town. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, we can. That's part of the vision quest. So we hop in the truck and we roll out to the Bring Your Own Beer titty bar 3 miles outside of Waco, Texas. As we walk up to the doorman turns around and his t-shirt says in very big letters, "White Power." That was the funniest thing I had seen in 2 weeks. For real, I thought it was hilarious. I laughed so hard that he started laughing with me. It was funny. I'm from a big city. I thought he was being ironic. Right? Like, you're white power? You? The doorman at the Bring Your Own Beer titty bar 3 miles outside of Waco, Texas? You are not white power's best mascot, homie. You should really look into it. I'm not afraid. You don't scare me. First of all, you don't look anything like the private prison industry, first of all. Secondly, I don't play that. I'm from here. I'm an American. My parents were Panthers. I've been an activist since I was a baby, and I was taught from a very early age to never, ever let racism get in the way of my sexism. Now bring the titties up. We don't have time. We're supposed to be on the same team. Bros before humans. I wrote that joke a long time ago. Sexism wins in that joke, and I don't like it as much as I used to, but it's still pretty funny. So. I don't know why I'm giving you an explainer. I should just write a different ending. What was I talking about? Weed? I love weed. Did I mention that? We're spoiled. We're spoiled out here in the West Coast. We're hella spoiled. All the West Coast spoiled. Walk out of the dispensary mad. Man, they only had 20 different kinds of weed in there. They didn't even have my brand. Right? I was just in Nashville, Tennessee. You know how many different kinds of weed you get in Nashville? 2. Here are your choices. Take it or leave it. So I took it because I've been standing in front of that 7-Eleven for like 2 hours. So you know what I'm talking about. Right, my haircut, international weed passport. People try to sell me weed or buy weed from me. It depends on the size of the town. Right, if I'm walking through a big city, hey dog, you need some weed? You need some trees? If I'm walking through a small town, hey, excuse me, do you have any weed? Man, I don't know you. Yeah, all right, come on. Oh yeah, okay, I remember. I was trying to remember. They told me to work clean. I was like, shh, good luck. Gotta reach into the archives. We'll tell some old stories. We'll tell this one. I was in Barcelona last year. Barcelona, that's how they pronounce it. That's how I pronounce it because I'm pretentious. Barcelona, Spain. Barcelona, me gusta mucho. Barcelona. Oh no, wait, I can't tell that. That joke's too dirty. We're gonna move on. Come see me at night. Come see me at night. This is completely different when the sun's down. Everybody's different when the sun's down. We'll move on. Oh, that's okay. The point it was going to be a joke about Spanish, and I was going to segue into this joke. I learned to speak Spanish. First of all, if you live in California, you can't speak any Spanish. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Right? They will never get your order right. You got to be able to speak a little bit. Para aquí, por allá. Right? Mission High School, San Francisco, California. Class of none of your damn business. Not a lot of white kids there. Brown kids, black kids. We still do musicals. We're still nerds, right? We would do bilingual musicals because we're big nerds. You understand? The sun will come out mañana. Bet your bottom peso that mañana there'll be sol. Mañana, mañana, me encanta mañana, porque lo siempre un día away. Thank you. It's a hard knock vida por nosotros. It's a hard knock vida por nosotros. Right on. Did I mention weed? I'd like to talk about cannabis for a minute. It's very medicinal. It's medicinal. It has medicinal uses. They publish studies all the time. Cannabis fixes this. Cannabis is good for this. Cannabis is good for that. They just published a study. Weed helps to alleviate the symptoms and the onset of Alzheimer's disease. This is how it works. You get so used to forgetting shit, you develop a system. And the Alzheimer's kicks in, you just think you're hot. You're like, that's cool, I wrote it down. Find me my notebook. What's your name? Find me my notebook. I wrote it in, I wrote your name. All right. Couple more jokes. Three more jokes. We'll see. There's a lot more comics. It's a monster lineup. As soon as I remember this next joke, I'm gonna tell it. It'll happen. I might have messed up and snuck a little hash into my pre-show joint. Listen, I can smoke weed and come out here and tell jokes because I practice that, right? That's state-specific learning. But if I mix some hash in it, 50-50. I could be on point. I could ramble like an old hippie. You never know, right? You ever hang out with old hippies? Those cats digress, right? It gets tangential. You ask him how to make a pie, he'll tell you how to grow a tree, right? Huh? What? You want my pie recipe? Yeah, okay. We've been friends long enough. I think you're ready. Here we go. The first ingredient is love. I know it sounds corny, but if you don't start with love, it's never gonna taste right. So it's love, and then it's 2 cups of apples. Now I like a Fuji apple because they're juicy, but they don't make your crust soggy. And also it's an Asian apple. And Asian apples remind me of the birthplace of apples, which is Kazakhstan, which is on the China-Russia border. They actually still have wild apple orchards out there. I ate a wild apple one time because I had followed the Silk Road on my vision quest after college, and I remember sitting in a hut with my friend Erdur. He's a Uyghur, which is not a white black person as you might suppose, but it's a Muslim sect. They're having some problems. I hope he's okay. But he had this hash, man, that was just incredible. It was the second best. The best hash, of course, is the hash you collect from the thighs of the virgins after they run naked through the cannabis fields 3 days before the harvest. But you know, it's hard to find a virgin out here. But he had this hash that was just spicy, crumbly. It smelled like cinnamon. It's 2 tablespoons cinnamon. It just went on and on and on. Like, follow me. My friend Running Bear, I met him in 1982 at a rainbow gathering in Wyoming. We stayed up all night and we hybridized this new form of weed. Hold on to this. This is gluten-free, but it keeps your crust flaky. Don't grow all of it at one time because the government is messing with the food supply. Wait a minute. What are your intentions with this pie? Is this a pie of woo? Is this a pie of poly? It affects the nut. Just went on and on. It took me 6 years to get that recipe. And now he writes for recipe blogs. Tyson. That's old school, dog. 4-finger lids. We're just sitting around being old together right now. Don't worry about us. You newfangled kids. We didn't have vaporizer pens. We had 2 hot knives and a wine bottle. You guys, I'm not you smoke hash. Oh, you remind me of my dad. Hash under glass, baby. Okay, I'm trying to wrap up the show. We can't really just go down memory lane right now, Stoner. I've been up for 20 minutes. You just now got to it. Anybody have a dad? Congratulations. My dad was pretty cool, man. My dad was actually pretty smart. He was a liar. He would lie. But dude, when you're 6, your dad's the smartest man in the world. My dad would just lie. He just lied to me. Dad. I was a very curious, inquisitive child. I always had this. Dad. Why are fire engines red? Well, son, you know, fire engines are red because newspapers are red too. And 2 + 2 is 4, and 4 × 3 is 12. And there are 12 inches in a ruler. Now, Queen Mary was a ruler. Queen Mary was also an ocean liner. An ocean liner sails in the sea, and there are fish in the sea, and fish have fins. The Finns fought the Russians. Russians used to be called Reds, and fire engines are always Russian. So that's why fire engines are red. My name's Ugayo Bilon. Have a great time.
He asked me to tell you that if his parole officer asked, he got here at 3. And you needed me to measure how close we were to the nearest park and school. Okay. 2 comics left. You have 4? You have the energy farm? This next comic is one of my absolute favorites. She is the only comic who I've had in every single one of these. Every single one of these. She always says good stuff. She's always funny. She wrote for a number of years for Conan O'Brien. She's got a special right now on Amazon Prime called Sis Won't Win Select. Very special. You can see her, she's in Los Angeles, but she's going to be up here actually in Atlantica next week at the Deaf Puppy Comedy Club. There right now. She is here. Please welcome the very funny Lori Kawari.
On stage during a dog fight. Thank you. I appreciate that. Check for Brian Copeland, guys. Old man Cope, we call him. Oh my God. And let's hear for Gaio. I can confirm. Let's hear for Gaio, guys. He has always been that high. He was a pothead when it was illegal to be pothead, so he's forcing it, and I love that for him. Thank you. Our dog's already loving me. And they're still worried that the dog fight's going to break out? Yes. Okay, that makes this comedy show all that more exciting and challenging for me. Otherwise, this is a perfect setup. There's 50 meters between you and me. I have to be clean. This is the ideal comedy show. But when you throw in a potential dog fight, I can't help but have the best set of my life. To me, all the elements are there. Yes. Guys, I drove up today from Burbank. Thank you. I was actually kind of hard to find parking here. I ended up parking back in Burbank, folks. Drove home and flew here. Now, I parked in front of the funeral home. There are those little jackets on the meters that say funeral parking only, but believe me, some of these jokes are going to die, so I think it's okay. And maybe a dog or two, guys. Who knows? Don't blame me. I'm not the one biting dogs out here. Okay, ma'am. Okay, focus right here. This happens every day in the dog park, guys. No, but I did drive up here today, and I did not have time to change. This is it. This is why there's this much space between you and me. I put deodorant over body odor. I don't know why I did that, but I'm here for you now, and I'm pretty excited. Are there parents here? Yeah, good. I'm a parent too. My son is 17, and it's kind of exciting. I feel like my shift is almost over. You know, and people always go, oh, you never stop being a mom. I'm like, oh yeah, watch me. Some people say I never started. My son says that. Now listen, ma'am, are you recording me? This lady in the red, oh, don't record me. Oh, put it down. This is just for San Leandro. This is just for us. Ma'am, put it down, I'm serious. Oh, yeah, that's okay. I didn't mean to get mad at you guys. Did you guys get afraid? No, these jokes are top secret, guys. Only San Leandro is allowed to hear them during the day. Yeah, these jokes don't make it to the nighttime crowds. This is daytime stuff only. No, here's the thing. I'm looking back on my parenting, and I'm wondering, you know, how I did. Did I do a good job? And I give myself the grade of C-, because that's the best grade my son ever got on a report card. I guess that's my fault. That's what I feel. But here's the thing. I have a genetic condition, and the doctor recently told me, he goes, hey, when your son turns 40, make sure he gets an MRI because he could have this thing too. And I'm like, I'm not going to be making his doctor appointments when he's 40. Okay, I will be hoeing it up in a senior center. I'll be spreading syphilis in the villages, okay? I'm not making my son's doctor appointments. But I know he's a boy, he won't make an appointment. So what I did is I went into my Gmail and I scheduled an email to go to my son in the year 2046. And just says, get an MRI. Love, Mom. And then I was like, wait, why stop there? You know, so when he's 50, he's gonna get an email from me about getting a shingles vaccine. And then in the year 2096, just a quick note from me, see you soon. Love, Mom. I thought that ambulance was for us. Dog down, get an ambulance there. San Leandro, we can't have dogs down. You okay, ma'am? What happened? Dog down, oh, I made you laugh, okay. That was so startling to me, I had to stop the show. What's that noise? Are you okay? Oh, you're enjoying it, okay, good. I'm a single mom. How many single moms out here? Clap. Oh man, they didn't see you in the center at all. You're like, we don't want them talking to the married moms. We need to separate these people. I'm a single mom. My son is half Mexican, and it's been up to me to provide a Mexican upbringing for my son. And I haven't done a good job all the time. Like, he got mad because on his 15th birthday, I threw him a quinceañero. He's like, Mom, those are for girls. I'm like, yeah, that's why I put an O on the end of it. It's a boy word now. Maybe if you got better than a say menos en español, you'd know that. Are there any native Spanish speakers here? Okay, about as many as the single moms. Okay, good. All right. Oh, I don't know why they're pointing to you, ma'am. That's sort of uncomfortable. You know, I thought they would raise their own hands. There's no need to point at her. My favorite thing about Spanish is how they spell the word ha. They spell it J-A. And I love it when Spanish speakers comment on reels, they just go ja, 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 ja. I love that. When English speakers comment, they're like, ha, ha. It sounds real sarcastic. And then the Spanish speakers are da, 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 da. It just seems like they're having a good time. Well, guys, I do want to date. I did tell my son, I said, after you go away to college, he's about to start a senior year in high school. I go, after you go away to college, I'm going to start dating. So heads up, there's going to be some uncomfortable Thanksgivings in your future. And then recently my son goes, I don't know if I want to go to college. And I was like, oh, just a reminder, I will be having sex with men in your bedroom. So if you don't want to see that, you should live in a dorm. And it should be out of state because I'm going to be loud. Yes, I've been quiet for too long, San Leandro. You're going to hear me up here even though I'm in Burbank. I want to date guys my age. I don't want to date younger men. To me, it would be so stressful to date a younger guy. Because if I were to hook up with one, it would be the greatest night of my life and the worst night of his. Like we'd both be texting our friends the next day for different reasons. I'd be like, I banged a 25-year-old. And he'd be like, she had a C-section. Pick me up. I just don't want to do that to another woman's son. But I do want to date guys my age. But here's the thing, I'm in my 50s. And I've been feeling it out on the apps, you guys. And I have to tell you something, divorced men in their 50s are not well. Something is amiss with this cohort. Here's my theory. Gen X men are the last generation of American men to play high school sports with no concussion protocols. All right, nobody checked their eyelids, their pupils. No one checked anything. They were just hit in the head, called a gay slur, and sent back out on the field. And now these kids are all grown up and they're on the loose. These horny, brain-damaged, man-sized, shaken babies, DMing at all caps. Do you know Joe Rogan? No. See a neurologist. And they're very worried they're being catfished. They're very paranoid that women are trans. Right? And here's what I think they're thinking. They're thinking if they were to hook up, like have a date with a woman and have feelings for her and find out she's trans in their brains, that means they're gay. Right? And I have to say, if you're like a 57-year-old man and you're still afraid you might be gay, please give it a shot. Please. Try it. You just had a month last month and Halloween's coming up. I mean, there's plenty of time to do it safely. Stop tormenting the rest of us. I feel like my options are divorced guys or widowers. And I prefer widowers. Because divorced guys always want to get back with their exes and widowers can't. Oh, I know that's harsh. But I like it when my men have all their escape routes blocked by a headstone. See, here's the thing, I will never be the love of anyone's life. I get it, okay? Here's my pitch to men on the apps. Let me be the love of what's left of your life. Let's die together. That's what I tell men. I'm not gonna chase you down in the afterlife, okay? You can be in heaven with wifey. I'll be in hell anyway for jokes I told in the early 2000s. It was a different time. And that's the other reason I'm not a good girlfriend is if I'm dating you, I will tell jokes about your genitals on stage. I have to, guys. It's my art. And if you complain, I'll add that to the joke. I make my men sign a total disclosure agreement. I'm like, initial here that I can describe your balls on Netflix. And if they refuse, I say, you get the heck out of my son's bedroom. This is a sacred space. Hold on. I'm just checking my time, guys. No, I didn't even, whatever, I don't even know. Okay, well, what? What, sir? The bus came and gone. That sounds like an O'Neill play. Maybe Tennessee Williams. I don't know. I'm not too into plays, but that was like the saddest heckle I've heard in a long time. Oh, I long for the days of nice tits. Instead, I get the bus came and gone. Welcome to 2024, guys. All of our hopes and dreams are so much lower. All we want to do is catch the bus. We don't want big things anymore. Well, is that the last bus? No, there's another one. You're just getting philosophical about time and transportation. I appreciate that, sir. It is because he has to take the bus home. Thanks for sorting it out for us, buddy. We all kind of figured that. Why do you two look like every man in my DMs? It's the sunglasses. You really do. Well, I know there's kids here. Clap if you had kids that missed a year and a half of school during lockdown. Yeah. Okay, those kids are weird. Let's face it, and they're starting to roll out. So watch out, everybody else. My kid he loves to stay at home, and he's turned into a monster. Okay, I think we made our home so nice these kids don't want to leave them now. You know? And our situation was pretty unusual. In 2019, here's my living situation. A 3-bedroom house. My son has a little room. My mother, who lived with me, had the medium room, and I had the big room. Okay? 2020 hits, COVID hits, my mother dies of COVID. Thank you. I'm just telling you that because I have jokes about this. I don't want you to grieve too hard, guys. I did my grieving. Now we're on to the comedy. And here's the thing. Here's what I say about my mom. I'm glad if you're going to die during COVID, it should be of COVID. Okay? Because that way it counts. If you're going to die of a car crash during COVID, no one's going to care. All right? I had a great uncle, my grandma's brother. I was told my whole life that he died in World War I. And I was like, wow, he probably got shot by the Germans, right? He died in a trench in the fields of Flanders. I thought it was so cool. And then I did my ancestry, and I saw his death certificate. He died during World War I in New Jersey of pneumonia. Guys, I could do that. So I say cheers to my mom for dying of COVID during COVID. Yes, that's a death my grandchildren can brag about for years to come. Now, should I have told her that over FaceTime as she was dying? Probably not. But live and learn. Well, me, not her, of course. So here's the thing. So after my mother dies, my son moved into her room. Okay? And now it's a bigger room. All right? It's got a bed and a window. And electricity. He was in the pantry before, let's be honest. For him, this is a promotion. Okay? He's like, this is, I miss grandma, but this is pretty sweet. And now he's 17, he's 6'2". I see him looking at my room going, when are you going down, bitch? When's bird flu gonna jump to that human? You guys react so much. Oh. Yeah, so my son missed middle school. He missed half of 7th, all of 8th grade. That's too bad. Those are the worst years to miss. Those are the years that give you your personality, right? You get bullied, and then you start responding, and that's who you become. You start writing poetry. You start cutting yourself. He missed all that. I had to teach my own son how to cut himself. I was like, honey, not that deep. You're just trying to get my attention. Ouchie! My middle school years made me a stand-up comic, okay? Because in the middle of 7th grade, I was just a 7th grade nobody. My dad got a job overseas in Nicaragua. Do you guys know where that is? It's in Central America. Some people think it's in San Diego, so I need to clarify all the time. And the plan was my dad was going to go down there early, find us an apartment, start his job, and we finish out the school year and then go down with them and just live in Nicaragua, become Nicaraguans, okay? So that last day of 7th grade, we started passing out yearbooks. Everyone's signing, see you next year, all that kind of stuff you sign in a yearbook. And I started thinking, I'm never going to see these kids again, right? And I don't like a lot of these kids. Maybe I should start telling the truth in their yearbooks. You know when you get that feeling when you decide to burn a bunch of bridges? The little tingles up your whole body. It feels good. So I started doing that. I'm like, dear Paula, you wear too much eyeliner. My mom thinks you look like a slut.
Who authorized this?
There's a girl named Kathleen. Kathleen had not learned to time her periods yet.
So that's what the
So I was like, dear Kathleen, your period's coming one day earlier than you think it does.
Who authorized it? I mean, it's in
Over
public.
and over again. And then I got to this guy named David who I had a crush on and I couldn't even look at.
Right,
7th grade, you're so mortified.
So I do.
And I told him, I go, dear David, I think
nobody
you're
else, just
fine.
leave, fuck it.
And you could have felt me up during square dance class. Don't bother following up on this though, because I'm moving to Nicaragua. XOXO, Lori Kilmartin. It was an incredible day. I'll never forget that last day of 7th grade in June of 1978. Because in July of 1978, there was a revolution in Nicaragua. Sandinista rebels began attacking the Somoza government, and the country turned to civil war. And my dad called while we were packing, and he said, I've got news, our plans have
So Dat
changed.
Phan's mad that I fucking recorded him.
I'm just going to work down here by myself, and you guys are going to stay up there. So you can go back to school. I started weeping. My dad thought I was crying because I wasn't going to see him for 3 years. I'm like, no! I'm crying because I made a series of decisions. Because I believed I was moving to Nicaragua. Please, Papa, por favor. He said it's too dangerous. I said I'd be safer embedded with the Sandinistas to 8th grade. Anywhere nearby, Honduras, Guatemala, I cannot be in North America. Well, they didn't care. They sent me back. 8th grade, the girls organized a shunning. They didn't talk to me. They wouldn't look at me. If I spoke, they didn't respond. If I looked at them, they looked through me. It was like being ghosted, but you're still there. Right? And the girl who organized the shunning was this girl named Vicky, and she was very slender, but she thought she was fat. And I remember in 7th grade, she used to, every morning, she'd be like, I'm fat. And any girl nearby had to run over and tell her, no, you're thin. And I got tired of being in this play every morning. So I went in her yearbook, dear Vicky, you're right, you're fat. Anyway, that's why I'm a comic, guys. This is not a middle-aged woman. This is an 8th grader right now. David has since found me on Facebook, and he DMs in all caps. Do you want to square dance? Yes, desperately, please. I did watch a lot of anime, my son. That was really fun. That was the fun part of lockdown. I was hanging out with your kid, and I so much anime. I started thinking maybe I'm getting fluent in Japanese. And it was like hearing the language and reading what it means. And then I had shows in Japan that had not been getting fluent in Japanese. In fact, we could remember on the streets actual Japanese.
Even though I'm already on public property, they can't do shit if I'm on the sidewalk. They can't do shit anyway. Don't fucking play your copyrighted material where fucking it can be heard. Go to the other side so we can hear it still.
And he started pleasuring himself. Yes, now in retrospect, I wish I had been disgusted. The more I tell the story, the more I realize I have work to do on myself. I was not disgusted, I was all obsessed. I was like, whoa. As soon as he sat down, right? So he just fell asleep. He was snoring against the window. Like, I was seated between the before and after of a male orgasm, right? And I started blinking at the flight attendants and more
Say
I'm
something
like, Air
about
Marshal,
you being
Air
on the
Marshal.
sidewalk.
And finally, one of them goes, is there something in your eyes? I'm like, no, but there's gonna be. Nothing. So I'm like, all right, should I just say it and telling myself, hey, stop touching yourself, you're in public? You know, because I've said that before, I'm a mom. And I probably said it last week. Then I realized, wait a minute, maybe I can sue Jeff Blue. Right?
Man.
Maybe this is my McDonald's hot coffee
I
moment.
guess I'm not a fan of Dat Phan
So
no
the guy
more.
didn't know I was watching. He did not realize I'd started filming him. Right? I got the idea. I have minutes and minutes of footage of this guy touching himself. Check out my Instagram, Lori16. And then I uploaded the footage to a chat. I had a chat with a lot of female comics in Raleigh. We're not one of the old ones. And I uploaded the footage and I go, ladies, this guy is doing this right next to me right now. And one of the younger women goes, that's a sexual assault. I was like, you are adorable. I wish I had lived such a gentle life where that was an assault. Do you also get full from one slice of pizza? Not to knock anyone, I've been around, I've seen a lot. My bar for sexual assault is pretty high. It's like this height, the exact height of my high school swim coach. Oh, I'm sorry, too accurate. So I sent the footage to Jeff Blue and they gave me $100 off my next flight. And I had to split it with the guy because I told him, keep it going, I'll make us both rich. And now we travel together as a team. All right, that's it for me, guys. Thanks a lot, good night.
One killer. Oh man, come on, you know the way, shut up. We are back to our final topic of the evening. Are you ready? I believe you are ready to now. Are you ready for one more? This gentleman is our very first nominee in the closet back in 19. So I brought back and folks are joining in. Now he's doing on the Tonight Show. He was the very first winner of Last Comic Standing on NBC. And now he is here for you. Please put your hands together and welcome the one, the only, Mr. Dat Phan.
Let's see if he says something about recording, because he's not happy with me.
Guys, give it for Brian Copeland on Comedians. What an amazing show. People going to the bathroom right now. Let's give them a round of applause, guys. Look at this. It's time for him. It's time. He even does a yeehaw with his hat. That's how excited he is. So, great to be here. Thank you. Photos from white people. I appreciate that. I like how there's all different ethnicities here. And coming together. Let's give them a round of applause, guys. All of us coming together. Telling racist jokes. That's us. Are you videotaping me, sir? Is that oh, that's okay. I'm already losing you guys. I'm losing in the first minute right now with racism and photos and getting the wrong gender. So,
Comedy.
I was like 2 people laughing in the front. Everybody was like, this is going to be a very awkward final closing. I'm going to make you guys laugh really hard. I just followed some powerhouses, you guys. Look at this. Let's give a round of applause for the city of San Leandro and Brian right here teaming up. Now you got a Korean, Cambodian, lesbian comedian following everybody. That's half you guys are with me. The other half is like, that's offensive. I don't know how, but food trucks in the back, just like in Vietnam. Look at that. I was thinking about having my family come up and just serve noodles in the back. You know what I mean? That's a big area. There's like so much culture up here. I saw people of different races. I ate pho out here. I stayed in a very Asian area. That was very white, you guys. That's very white. Lots of new buildings and white people and a few Asians there serving noodles. That's what. Have you guys been to Walnut Creek before? It's just, I don't even need to take a shower. I just have to drive through that neighborhood and I'm much cleaner. That's how, is that weird? Is it, I don't think you guys, half of you guys don't even know what to do with me. That's this crowd. You guys are at the point now, after 2 hours, you're like, I want to just laugh hard and you silence hard. That's this crowd, right? You're like, finish him, destroy him. I'm Vietnamese. Are there Vietnamese people in San Leandro at all? At the nail salon, thank you. That's racist, but true. So we'll cover that later on. Thank you. I like how some of the other people have white guilt. Like, it is true though, isn't it? It's not Koreans. I'm from San Diego. Has anybody here been in San Diego before? It is like, I don't know. Is he a Republican? What's happening right now? I don't know. I'm just Asian. I don't know. I'm from San Diego. Do you guys like San Diego? Do you like San Diegans? Hello? Perfect time for the sun to come on my eyes like a spotlight from God right now. That's what I'm blind. So, thank you, truck backing up. Perfect timing. Look, even the trucks are walking on me right now. They're like, we're gonna get out of here. William Hung is on stage. He's gonna sing She Bangs. Let's get out of here as soon as possible. So, yeah, I'm from San Diego, you guys. What? I'm getting heckled by a truck. He's backing slow. All the traffic is perfect. Thank you. Goodbye. You leave me like how Daddy leave me behind in Vietnam. Thank you so much. That offended you guys? With how the world is going on right now, my long lost father. This is pissing you off? Well, my father's white and he's in the crowd right now, you guys. Just give it to me some sense. So, I lived with my mom for a long time. Have you lived overstay and welcome with your parents at home? What do you do for a living, sir, with the shorts? Very short shorts. What do you do? You're a child welfare worker. And you live with, it makes sense. I'm a comedian and I'm Asian and I stayed with my mom for decades. Just milking that free rent. You know, the thing is, when you live with your parents for a long time, you don't pay rent, but you pay mental rent. You know what I'm talking about? You guys ever do that? Like you come home, you have to sneak home into your own. And my mom, like, eventually she just had like a 1 bedroom for a while. This is before Last Comic Standing. I would come home, Dat Phan, what do you do? You think I don't hear you, Dat Phan, huh? We escaped Vietnam, huh? I don't escape you. Look at you, Dat Phan, huh? I would just, I had to sleep in her dining room. That's good and bad. The good news is she would cook delicious food. I would eat all the time for free. But the bad news is I sleep under the dining room table after the meal. That's the hard part. Here's the thing. How many guys are from, I'm going to get a weird answer on this. How many guys are from a war-torn country? Anywhere from a war-torn country? Okay, talking to the wrong people right now. My parents escaped the Vietnam War. I could never have stories that beat them. You guys ever do that? You're like, hey mom, here's the thing. I try to, go out on a date with Aaron Needham, the cheerleader. Thank you for sharing that story. I have a similar story. It's called The Fall of Saigon. I'm like, no, you don't understand. Life is really hard right now. Life is hard. I wanted the Nintendo with the gun, but instead I got the 8-bit system with Super Mario Brothers. I didn't get the deluxe set. Oh, Dat Phan, I feel so bad for you. You know, your uncle, he almost made it. He almost escaped the POW camp. But I'm sorry you didn't get to duck hunt. You guys are kind of iffy again. Okay, no No more jokes for San Leandro, apparently. I would come home to my parents and they would just stare at me. Here's the thing. Are there Asians in here? I think I saw 2 Asians that they left in that bus. Okay, you guys are hidden. Probably married to whites, but that's totally fine. What? I'm getting O's here from the front row. Oh, burn. And they are with whites. But they work with Apple. It's very confusing. I used to live with my parents. Asian parents, I don't know if like this with other ethnicities, right? Asian parents, they get so disappointed in you. They just make this weird look on their face. You ever see that? Dat Phan, look at you. What the hell wrong with you, Dat Phan? Your brother, he Dr. Lawyer, Dat Phan. No, he worked in Circuit City. No, he Dr. Lawyer, Dat Phan. Now your brother, Jesus Christ, God bring him down. Now, Dat Phan. He died for you, Dat Phan. Your brother, he Dr. Lawyer. You clown, so far you have. You and all your clown friends, Brian, now you're San Leandro, make joke and pocket like that, man. How much money you make today? That's how much money you make? What's your medical insurance? That's the best medicine. You die, Dat Phan, man.
Here comes
You
this
die when you're
asshole.
not hot, Dat Phan. Look at you, Dat Phan, man. What the hell wrong with you, Dat Phan? It's the point where they yell at you in 2 different languages. Michelle's in her Vietnamese is stronger. Dat Phan, no, that English, how Dat Phan. Look at you, Dat Phan. I don't know what to do with this. She just makes noise. She gets lazy. Look at you, Dat Phan. What the hell wrong with you? White people San Leandro, Dat Phan.
You mad about copyrighted material? This shit's like fucking 14 years old.
Covers her chest like somebody pinned her. What the hell wrong with you? No. Look at the look of disgrace from a parent. No, Dat Phan. Disgrace all the way back to the 3rd dynasty. 3rd dynasty? Long line of heroes. You, look at you, Dat Phan. I'm a loser Asian, man. You guys look at me like, is he successful? For the longest time, I knew comedy was for me. That was my future. When I was the only Asian guy in high school that failed math. You know how embarrassing that is? And the embarrassing part is when I failed, 8 other students around me failed too. And I was copying one of them. That's right, I was copying one of the white people. We all failed together. And somebody was mentioning earlier, right? You were talking about the nail salon, you know? That is so racist and correct, I'll tell you right now. That's my sister's that own a salon in San Diego. Surprise. It's called Angie's Nails. None of my sisters are named Angie. Alright, they just make them some name and put it on the side. Welcome to Angie's Nails. They're American Angie.
That's a very American name.
You don't know. That sign was already here. Before that, it was a Yum Yum Donuts. Welcome to Yum Yum Donuts Nails. I hope you wash your hands, Tom Petty. I don't like this little Korean. You're not Korean, doesn't matter. Welcome to Angie's Nails. All the nail salons sound so patriotic, right? Like a battleship. You ever seen this? Welcome to USA Nail. USA Nails. Welcome to USA America Nail. Or something divine, right? Welcome to USA Angel Nail. Angel Rainbow. We mixed together. Angel Rainbow, SEAL Team 6, Cuban Bottom Nail. Come inside. Come here. I know there's kids here, so I'm trying to walk myself to the language here. But I tell you, you ladies ever go into the nail salon and they just talk stuff right in front of you? You ever see that? As you, obviously, you don't speak Vietnamese, but they're speaking Vietnamese right to your face. Have you seen that? Oh, you did this rose? Oh, it's beautiful. Hey! You're so beautiful. You're so skinny. You're like a simple model. I tell you, she's slapped. Oh, shoot, wrong language. You ever see a Vietnamese woman make a sales pitch? That's what we need for America. Vietnamese women are the best salespeople. They would torture you ladies and make a sale at the same time. Have you seen this? They would torture you with insult and make a sale. Come here, Jennifer. Come here. Come here. Your hair look good. Your hair look good. You're so beautiful, hunchback. Come here. I'll show you something. You ring the bells of Notre Dame. Come here. I'll show you. back your eyebrow. Go back your eyebrow. You X-Men mutant. Come inside. I'll show you. You see the discounted? I'll give you a discount, okay? Don't tell anybody. It's always top secret. Don't tell anybody. I'll give you a discount. You don't tell anybody, except for 10 of your friends. Then they tell somebody. Then they referral program. Come here. Huh? Come here. Just a minute. I waxed your eyebrow. Okay, next part. I just realized. Can I was gonna go down below, but I promised Brian. So, can I tell you guys a cultural joke? Have you noticed when you walk into a Thai restaurant, you can't tell if the waiter's gay or he's just Thai? This is a gay Thai crowd, I just lost you guys. I love Thai food, right? Thai food's great. I walk into a Thai restaurant, see the waiter's like, hello, okay, how you doing? Welcome to Bayou Thai. It's my birthday, bro. You're like, is he gay or is he Thai? This truck is going to kill me and my family. He's making like a triple U-turn right now. Where are they going? They retracted their turn. They're just gonna go in here and go in front of you guys and then back up right in front of me. Goodbye. What is that button? Goodbye. Your name.
Oh my fucking god.
He did.
Just.
Are you keeping track of his urination? Do you hold it right? So you're like, is this guy gay or is he Thai? Which one is he? Like, hey man, what else is on the menu? Today we have 2 specials. Tie me up, tie me down.
Oh.
Wow, I got interrupted by a backing truck with a beeping thing, and I still got you guys. That was amazing. I'm glad that you guys are all here and you're all paying attention. People don't have their cell phones out. Let's give that a round of applause, folks.
You knew he'd talk about me.
I miss this. I'm old. I don't want to say how old I am, but I was out before cell phones. That's how old I am. We just rode our bikes around with no cell signal, no nothing. We could disappear. My mom just whatever. Am I walking that group? Goodbye. Was it the gay Thai joke? Was it the backing beeping truck? Was it the Kill Bin Laden nails? Is that what I lost you on? I could just left with 2 more chicks, huh? Hey, yo, I don't like this. This generation, like, I'm glad that you guys are out here having a good time. I mean, this is a rare thing, right? We should have a good time. Round of applause. All these comedians. What caliber are these comedians? I have hope for the future, but I'm scared for the next generation because the next generation, they have a cell phone glued to their hand on TikTok. Have you ever seen this? You can't even have a conversation with them. Like, hey, man, what's up? Hey, what's up? You can tell anything. Like, dude, my grandmother just died. That's terrible. Let me Instagram your selfies. Okay, let's do that for you guys. My mom's got the longest time. Brian, what is this? We can hear them. Is he over there? What are they doing? They're just driving circles going backwards. I need the silence before and after the punchline, and during the silence is it, look, the bus didn't even go that far. The bus traveled 50 yards and it carried 1 passenger. Amazing.
Anyway,
It's okay.
fucking Dat Phan just lost this fan.
My mom
No longer a fan
How many guys have
of Dat
parents who have
Phan.
a hard time with cell phones?